So Benjamin is online, Jerry is online, Kwesi is online, Maxwell Prince. Yeah. We're just going to have a very brief discussion, and then I will give you some activity to do. But before I start, is the last discussion we had on Saturday. Has anyone got any question or something to ask about the last discussion we had?
Doug, I have a question.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, concerning the apps,
Yes.
how we can use apps to gain competitive advantage.
How you can use what?
Apps,
Okay.
application to gain competitive advantage.
Okay, so you're
Or
asking about how we can use um,
yes,
web apps. So this is under the discussion of internet technologies, isn't it?
yes, yes.
Okay, so
Uh,
let's use a typical scenario and looking at, say, banking. Let's take the banking setup. Imagine the banks that have web apps and the banks that do not have web apps, and how they can reach their customers, or they can provide services to their customers at a very fast rate and even cheaper and affordable banking services. So I have my banking app on my phone. I can, as we are speaking, I can easily make payments. I can check my balance, and I don't need to have any details of username, password, knowing the bank's URL to be able to get to their sites, and then looking for particular links to click before it takes me to just a minute. I think that I will have to, some people are calling in instead of going through the link from the site. You understand?
I'm trying to call them.
Yes, I see who just called in. Is it somebody just tried to call in that they should go to the site? Or let me go off and come in so that when they call, I can accept their calls. I see he's trying to.
Yeah, LMSM or Bona. Click more on management information system. Valid live session on Google Hangout. Click more. Go click more. Go pop up. I go enter password. Look there. Gmail. Valid go straight to the section.
Has the person got it?
Yes.
Okay.
I've told you.
Yeah. So organizations that provide apps or web apps to their clients, or or deal with their clients using web app, are much closer to their customers or their clients more than organizations that do not have web apps. You understand? And the competitive advantage, based on the question you asked, is in a sense of how close is a business to the customer. The physical officers will go to sleep, but with the web app, they can always have physical contacts. Let's imagine taxi companies that you have to call. They don't have web apps. You have to do a normal GSM call or a landline call to make arrangements. You cannot tell where they are. The person picks up the phone and tells you that, okay, I'll be in your location in, say, 30 minutes. From the time you made the call till the 30 minutes, you can't be sure of where the person is. But with web apps, you are able to tell each unit of the person's travel. So web apps provide closer contacts with the business with the business to the customers than when you don't have any web app. So in terms of closeness to your clients, your client accessing services, you see that web apps are more easy to use than the traditional access to internet, where you have to open a browser, look for the right URL, because if you get anything wrong with the URL, it's going to tell you the URL does not exist. Or sometimes you have to use a search engine like Google to type the organization's name. Similar names may pop up. You have to scroll through. All this time, if you have a web app, you just look for the logo of the app and you are there. So you see the advantage you have in providing services through the web app than when you are not using. You take note, having internet presence does not necessarily mean you have a web app. Every organization these days will have some kind of websites, etc. But with the web app, you reach your customers or your clients faster, quicker, easier, and there is some kind of mutual connection to the services that you provide them. And if you are not using web app, then I said in class that it's also cheaper. You see, the same platform, you can use it to communicate. So if I want to lodge a complaint, I can just go to my banking app, or I can go to my school's app, or I can go to whatever service. If you say, assuming ECG is giving some web app and I want to log a complaint, I don't need to identify where I live, my bill number. All those things might have already been set up in the web app. So by just going through and saying my area is off, all the details I would have provided to identify me and where I live would have been resolved by just going. Then again, providing services like billing. Okay, the customer can just visit through the web app, can even get notification on the web app, and it saves costs for the organization. What it means is that you are not going to go through normal SMS or maybe phone calls, which might be expensive. You use the same web app to also interact with your business. So do you see the sense in the competitive advantage that web apps give to a business than when they are not using any web app at all?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Any other question? Any question? Mr. Benjamin, can you hear me? Your microphone is off.
I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. Do you also have any question?
No, please.
Okay. Maxwell, are you okay?
Yes, I'm fine, sir.
Okay, so we are just going to have a little discussion, and then we'll close the chapter on the levels of management decision in organization. We scanned through it some time ago, but I just want to revisit that. Then you can have access to the that slide. So I'm going to share my screen. Okay, I'm going to share my screen so that you can see it. Where is my... The person who was struggling to get in, are you now online? The person who was rather calling instead of getting it through the LMS sites, are you online?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Is it Aquila?
Yes, Steve. Yes,
okay, Steve. Oh, okay. Okay, Steve. Okay. Yeah, very good. So I'm sharing my screen. Somebody is calling. Hello. Yeah. Hello. Who is here? Okay, so somebody just called in. Is it Jerry? Okay, let me share my screen so that we can share screen. Okay, so can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay. Can you all see my screen? Who cannot see? Adako, can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can see.
Okay, so can you read something?
No.
Is it too small? Is it too faint? Oh, okay. I think I have to make it a bit bigger. Okay. Steve, can you see my screen? Can you read from it?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, can you, what is there? Please read the headline. I just want to make sure you can see it clearly.
Management information systems and decision making.
Okay.
And decision making, an overview.
Okay. So we are looking at how MIS influences decision making in organizations. Okay. I spoke about this before, but I was looking at it from a different context. Okay. Now, MIS influences decision making in the hierarchy of management. Okay. We discuss operational management, tactical management, and then strategic management. Okay. So how does MIS influence decision making in these three levels of management? Now, tactical management, I explained that tactical management will include senior managers, middle level to senior managers. Okay. In some textbook, you see you see middle level management and senior level management. Okay. In usually American textbook, you see tactical management, but it's the same thing as middle level or senior level managers. Now, briefly, The strategic managers or strategic management deals with the overall organizational goals, strategies, policies, long-term strategies, etc. And they monitor the strategies to ensure that the organizations are performing. Okay. So their direction is more economical, political. They look at economics, politics, competitive business environment, etc. So they deal with how they can survive in the considering several external factors using inside resources. Then the tactical managers, business unit managers, business professionals, self-directed teams, and so on. They develop short to medium term range plans, schedules, budgets, specify policies, procedures, business objectives, sub-units of the company, like say divisional heads or regional heads, etc. They also allocate resources to ensure that people perform. Okay, that's those who they supervise, they perform. Then the operational is usually take short-term plan or immediate plans, immediate decisions, on the spot decisions. Okay, and I've cited examples using say a school, a banking hall, or a factory, and how these apply. Now, the type of information here, if you can see the diagram, looks at levels of management to decision making. The types of information here, at the operational level, the management information system should be able to provide very structured information, because the operational level are not to operate based on discretions. They are supposed to be operating based on facts, figures, accurate and precise information or data. So if the information is not structured, it affects the accuracy of the decision, or the product of the decision, the outcome of the decision. So MIS must ensure that all information or all data that inform or that are inputs for decision making are very much structured at the operational level. Okay. And so for example, specify schedule, detail frequency, historical data. It must be narrowed, the information must be scoped and be narrowed in that the persons or the persons at this level, the persons at the operational level don't make mistake, or they don't exercise discretion in an attempt to interpret the information they have during their decision making process. However, at the tactical management, that is middle to senior level managers, the information can be semi-structured. Semi-structured means it's a composition of structured information with a bit of external, just a little external information to help them take particularly medium-term decisions. Okay, so there is a modification of the information after it's been analyzed, etc. They can use this. They can use this type of this information to inform their decision making. Then the unstructured, the information at the top, that is the. Is somebody asking a question?
Thank you.
Please, if the noise is coming from your side, you can turn off your microphone because we can all hear that conversation. Okay. Yeah, let's proceed. So at the apex, or at the executive or the senior directors or very senior top managers, etc., their information or decision is unstructured. Okay, so it means that they need information which is summarized, often summarized. They don't need all the details. I've given this example. They don't need all the details. They need summarized, analyzed, and then the information, the kind of data should be predictive. Okay, more of prediction or analysis to preempt, and a lot of alternative information. What if information, what if kind of information. So for example, what if we have 30,000 customers? What should our say our staffing situation be like? What if we trim down our staffing situation? How many, say, account managers can handle a certain number of clients or customers? So the data is unstructured because it's supposed to deal with things that you preempt, things that you predict. You cannot have that kind of data to inform decision making at operational level, because they don't do any medium term plan. They do usually immediate or short term decisions and the kind of information they've. So this is how the three dimensions which we've discussed already, the three dimensions of information comes into play. You look at the content, you look at the form, you look at the time, etc. And then you decide, you decide, or you look at, sorry, not decide, you look at who or what level of management is going to use that information. Then you can say the information ought to be structured, or it can be semi-structured, or it can be unstructured. Any questions on what I've said so far?
Oh,
Yes.
I would like to ask the information at the strategic level.
Yes.
Does it also include information from the external environment?
Yes. In fact, at the strategic level, they look at the internally generated information, that is data that has come out of internal processes. Okay. And also look at a lot of data that has come from external activities or the external environment, and do a comparison. That's why I say they do a lot of what ifs, that is to choose from several or several alternatives or various or several options. So it is internal data versus external data, or internal information versus external data. Whereas at the structured level, at the operational level, the reason why it is structured is because every data they based on for decision making is actually internal. At the management level, they take processed data from based on the operational management level with a little of external information. But at the unstructured level, they take more of external data and a little of, that's why they need more summarized data. Then they can do predictions. What if the value of the CD changes? How is it going to affect our profits? And what should be the measure? So they depend on information from the external environment, probably more than how do you call it? They depend on external intelligence and measure it against data from their internal operations, or information based on their internal operations. Okay. So the external environment information plays a critical role at the strategic level. Yeah. Any other question? Any other question? Okay. So let's look at application of MIS at the various levels of management. Okay. Let's look at application of MIS at various levels of management. So we can use this diagram. If you can see this diagram, we can use it to. We have information systems that support operations. I think I've mentioned that already. That support operations at operational level. So we have specialized processing system, transaction processing system, process control system, and enterprise collaboration. So I'll just take each keyword and explain what it means. Okay. In fact, if you go through, if I give you the text, you'll find that I think the explanations are given.
Was online lectures.
Sorry?
Or
Oh, okay. Okay.
online.
If you look at, if you read through the text, they are explained. So I will skip the reading through the text. You when you have the presentation, you can, when I send you the link, you can read it. So operation support systems. Okay, there are 4 categories of operation support systems. That is systems that are used at the operational level. Okay, systems that are used at the operational level or at the operations management level. Okay, we have specialized processing systems. Specialized processing systems deal with specific operations to a specific company. So for example, in a factory, they may have a particular system that deals with specific processes of the organization. Like in the bank, ATM is a specialized processing system. You know what the ATM is supposed to do. A lot of businesses will not need ATM because it doesn't form part of their activities. Okay. In some organization like a library, a hand scanner or a book scanner is part of, is a specialized instrument, or it's a specialized processing system that will be needed for their operations. Okay. Then we have transactional processing system, which is almost common to every organization. Systems that are involved in the transactions between the organization and its clients. So a system to receive inputs, in terms of, say, a system to provide a service, a system to withdraw money, say in a bank, a system to deposit money, a system to receive fees in a school, and a system to receipt the payment of the fees. The basic transaction of that organization, and transaction processing system comes in various ways. Then process control system. Process control systems are to ensure compliance. People don't fault. So procurement activities, we can have a control system that ensures everybody complies with the procurement process. I make requisitions. The system says by my position, I cannot ask for certain items. So the system only populates on my screen. That is if the procurement processes are automated. Only what I can request. Sorry, only items I can request from stores, or only items that by my status I can request that it should be bought for me to use as an input. So the process control system ensures that there are processes, and those processes, people or staff or clients of the organization are in compliance of that. So something like store requisition system, procurement system, HR management system, they all fall under process control systems to ensure that people follow. In the university, the system that, for example, you put in the student's name, the index number, the program the person has applied for, and then the aggregate of that student, the system is able to compute and say this person is qualified for this program, etc. So such systems falls under process control. They ensure that the processes are controlled so that people don't exercise discretion. Okay. And it also enhances quality in organizations. That's process control systems. There are various process control systems. Sometimes it doesn't mean all these systems are isolated systems. You may have one information system that are able to implement, or we call it enterprise resource planners, or enterprise operational business suite. Like one of the software, the system that's in it, but which so many issues came about it. The OBS, for example, has specialized processing as part of it, transactional as part of it, process control as part of it, and even enterprise collaboration systems. Enterprise collaboration enhances communication and teamwork in an organization. Okay, So if I want to send series of documents, or even if I want approval to a request, the enterprise collaboration system, I just put in the approval. Whoever is my supervisor sees that there is this request, he approves, it goes to the next person. So it helps organization workers or teams within organization to be able to collaborate. So the OBS, a typical example of such operational support system, which has all these 4 components, is the OBS as SNIT. Are you following the example? Yeah, it's the OBS as SNIT. The OBS as SNIT has all these systems put together, known as the organizational business suite, or some people call it office business suite or e-business suite, which embodies the various systems that support operations management of an organization, operational level management of an organization. Okay, then let's look at management support systems. Okay, management support systems usually support decision making and planning of organization, mainly for tactical managers. If you look at the diagram, there is tactical management at the top. Tactical management in the middle. Okay, so back to this diagram. The blue is for tactical managers, and in the British sense, tactical management is, say, middle to senior managers or middle to senior administrators of an organization. All those a little beyond supervisors, or even supervisors, senior supervisors, and directors, or in the ministry, they will be the deputy directors and probably the chief directors. The chief director might be very high, but they will be the directors. Let me say the directors, the various directors and managers. The chief director may be a strategic person, depending on the hierarchy. It may be a strategic manager, or maybe at the strategic management. The chief director and the minister may be at those who are likely to be the strategic, or the board of, say, the ministry, with the minister will compose, and maybe the chief director will be there. But the other directors will fall between, regional heads will fall between middle to senior manager, or tactical managers, or management level. Now, that is where MIS. So you realize that MIS is one component of entire system discussions that we're supposed to have. Okay, MIS is just one component of an information system. So MIS is management support system that supports managers to plan and to also to take decisions. Okay, and MIS heavily depends on OSS, that is operational support systems. So management support, MIS, I've defined MIS several ways. We can then decision support systems that provide the necessary information, several dimensions of information to aid the decision process of a manager. So there is, again, it can be one system that provides such an information for managers to be able to take decisions. So it doesn't just give information, but is able to somehow analyze the information and give different dimensions of that information for a manager to be able to take a medium-term, short to medium-term plan, or make short to medium-term decisions. Then executive information system. The executive information system also supports both middle level to strategic. Then specialized processing system. Again, you see specialized processing system because we can have additional, we call it institutional intelligence, where we can have additional information system that takes data from specialized system and analyze them to support decision-making processes. Okay, we can have so for example, we have, is it financial intelligence? Is it the financial intelligence unit? Can somebody help? Maxwell, can you help me with that? I think in Ghana we have something called the financial intelligence, right? Is it a financial intelligence unit? Yes. They use specialized processing system to find some indicators, find some trend, to be able to detect certain things, maybe detect in organization, maybe detect errors, preempt what is likely to happen, and so on. They are meant for specialized operations, and it exists for both operational management and also somebody wants to join us. Okay. Yeah, can we proceed?
I said I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
Should information system always be automated? I need to be manual.
Should information system always be what?
Automated.
With modern business, you cannot afford to computerize or automate your information systems. There are other aspects of the information. That's why information system has 5 components. There are other aspects that will still depend on human intelligence or human capability. So yes, for example, operational management, as much as possible, automate all the information systems, because that is how you can get accurate data. You can get very structured data. If you don't, then you'll be having a lot of issues with that. So at the operational level, as much as possible, automate everything. Maybe at the strategic, yes, but once you also manage to automate all the operational support systems, that is where the volumes of management lies, volumes of operation issues lie. So once you successfully automate that, the rest are just recurrent.
Yeah.
You can then introduce specialized processing systems to help in the processing of data for. Can you tell this person? I don't know. Somebody is trying to call, but he should just join. I don't know why he's calling. He should just join.
The name.
Let me see. Is it Jerry? Do you have anyone? Yes, Jerry. He should just join. He should just see that and join. You should just click on the video and join. Okay, let's proceed, because when I try to accept his call, that is when everything goes off and then we have to restart. Okay. Anyway, let's proceed. I'm almost through with the explanation on the diagram. Yeah, so decision support system, executive information system, processing systems. Okay, so the diagram gives more details: processing business transaction, control of industrial processes, teamwork and work group collaboration. Is it pre-specified reporting for managers, information decision support, information tailored for executive. Okay, these are. So then you come to the strategic level, or the strategic information, that is system expert systems. Expert systems help in simulation of all kinds of data to make projections. Some business will call it business intelligence. They use this to expert advice to decision makers. So the expert system will provide some kind of data for at that point. Sometimes it is almost like try and luck. That is where you need a lot of human intelligence as well to be able to take this. Then knowledge management system, manage organizational knowledge. Okay. Manage organizational knowledge or institutional tacit knowledge that has been accumulated over a period. Then strategic information support competitive advantage. Yeah. And then functional business systems support basic business functions. Okay. So basically, this is how information systems are applied in organization. Like I said, you can have one integrated, or you can have an integrated information like an enterprise resource planner, which has all these components put together. You may not need to buy different systems to perform. Even when you purchase or when you acquire different information systems to perform these functions, you still need to integrate them before you can have institutional intelligence. If you don't integrate them and the data that is coming from these systems are disjointed, you will not be able to have enough business intelligence about your organization, and you will not be competitively advanced. You will not have the competitive advantage that you may seek to gain over your competitors. Yeah. Any questions?
Sir, hello?
Yes, go ahead.
System like supply chain management system
Yes.
For management of the whole organizational supply chain.
Yes.
How do you classify such a system?
Yes. So
Is it
if you take a supply chain management system will support operations, will support transactions. You understand? Because with a supply chain management system, one aspect is to deal with your clients if you are using the supply chain management. So it will support transactions. It will also support compliance. That is, it will control the process in a supply chain. I am sure it can also do some kind of enterprise collaboration. Let me give an example. You know the paperless clearing system at the port, which has been introduced recently. It's been quite some time, probably at least 6 months. Yes, it has almost all these components. It supports operations, the basic operation of the unit at the port that deals with forwarding and clearing is to make sure people are able to pay the right amount and get their goods out of the port. That's the basic function of that system, isn't it? Now, in operating it manually, they have to show evidence of this, show prices, etc. So with the computer, the clients are able to log into the system and upload their wage bills and all the necessary supporting documents that will help them calculate how much taxes they are supposed to pay. And it takes a whole lot of paperwork away. So it supports enterprise collaboration, it supports compliance, that is processing control, it supports transaction, that's between, and it's, of course, there are specialized aspect of the port. Probably I can't speak to that, I'm not sure, but at least I know 3 of these subsystems or 3 of these systems that support operations are there in such an example. Yes. Yes, any other question? Any other question? Okay.
Hello?
Yes, hello.
Sir, a system like, let's say, stores management.
Yeah, stores. Yeah, a stores management. Yeah, it's stores and inventory management. Yeah.
Yes, when you have a particular department needs something out of stores.
Yeah.
There are certain documentations that you need to prepare on paper.
Sure.
Can you the preparation of the
documentation
of papers? Can you call it an information system because it's more automated?
Yes, that process. In fact, the whole requisition and stores and inventory is an information system. Just that it exists in notebooks because you can identify the inputs, you can identify the processes, and you can also identify the outputs. So it's an information system. Just that it's not automated or computerized, or it is it's a manual information system, but it is because it has component of inputs. There is data processing, then there is also an output. In fact, that is used for planning, for making, for procuring items to stock, for budgeting. It makes a lot of input in an organization for budgeting, to know how much your expenditure. So it makes a lot of input. So it's an information system, and it supports decision making as well, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it supports budget, it supports planning, it supports general decision making. So it's an information system.
Okay, sir.
So it does not necessarily mean you have a particular software that does what before you can call it an information system. It is an information system as long as it has the
Yeah,
components, yeah, of it. Okay.
yeah. Yes, I was just about saying that because when it comes to information, we are not only looking at the system in terms of technology,
Exactly.
but we said an information system incorporates both the system, that is the inputting and the outputting.
Yeah.
And we always say that before an information will be complete, it takes from the input and output what you want it to generate for you.
Sure.
When sir, you were talking about the banking software,
Yeah.
what the software just aid the interference of too much human activity
Precisely.
within the system.
Yeah.
You can sit, as we say in this time, there is nobody sitting in the banking hall who will be there to serve you as a customer service officer.
Sure.
But with the help of aided information technology, you can sit and still call information within your account and say that, okay, if I have a plan for tomorrow, I think I have so much amount of money in my account. And from that one, I should be able to plan towards tomorrow. It is only aiding you to be able to read what you want to do and also help you budgeting for tomorrow what you want to do. That is what it stands for.
Sure.
It just takes away the too much human interference whereby you need to completely rely on somebody. Where in the olden times we were using the legacy, somebody needs to go.
Yeah. So you are right. The information systems are not necessarily systems that are computerized or computer aided, but they can be. We've run information systems from time immemorial. It's just putting systems to be able to capture inputs. So if the inputs are captured on paper, it's a system using those inputs to inform certain processes and get an output to take a decision. And it's an information system. Yeah. So any other question?
Yeah, Doc.
Yes.
I'd like to find out in the operation systems,
Yeah.
under the operation support system, there is specialized system. And then under the MSS, there is also specialized support system.
You said, please say that again. You said whether
under the operation support system.
Yeah, operation support system.
Specialized.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes. You can have specialized systems and operations, and I gave an example. So if you go to the hospital, they may have some. If you go to the hospital, for example, the basic processes in the hospital may have some kind of specialized system that capture data as part of their system, but that specialized system is only relevant to a hospital and no other organization or no other kind of business will use that system for any purpose. You understand? But something like transaction processing, whether a hospital, whether a school, whether a bank, whether all kinds of business, as long as the business has clients or has customers, you use a transactional process. It's a more of a universal kind of system. You understand? But specialized system is based on the nature of the business or aspect of the business that requires specific tailored or designed system to be able to provide that kind of transaction or to support that aspect of the operations. Yeah, and it's unique based on the nature and the functions of that particular business.
Okay, so can you use the same system under the MSS?
Yes. So you can also have specialized processing systems under MSS. You understand? If your management support requires some kind of specialized system to process data, secondary or hybrid of data, it can be there. What it means is that specialized processing system is not only under operations, it supports management decision as well. You understand? Okay. Okay. Any other question or contribution?
No, sir.
Okay. Yeah. So I will put this video, I'll upload it into YouTube and post it so that those who couldn't partake can go back and watch, and then we'll meet again. I think there's been a suggestion that we should change the Wednesday meetings to Tuesday, the same time. Is it okay with everyone?
No, please.
We should stick to Wednesday.
Yes, please.
Okay, so discuss it among yourself and let me know. Okay.
Okay,
Let's just agree here. I wouldn't want us. Why would we want us to move from the Wednesday to Tuesday?
Yeah, it is a request that came. So if the majority feels that we should still keep it from Wednesday, then that's fine. I don't have any problem whether it's Wednesday or Tuesday. So you have to.
Yeah. The issue is that we have about 2 or 3 ladies who are unable to join us.
Yes, I know about that. You said there are about 3 people who can join on Wednesday.
That is why I want to.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we can all agree and say we want it Tuesday. We don't need to even discuss behind it. If we need to do that for our colleagues to be able to also come on Tuesday, then I think we can work with that for Tuesday, same time.
So would you, on behalf of the few, would you agree that for the sake of the few people who have difficulty to join us on Wednesday, we should change it to Tuesday?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay, that's fine. So our next meeting will be on Tuesday. Okay. Okay, so have a good evening or have a good night, and then when you have access to it, you can just go through and then have your okay. So have a good night. Yeah. Right. Okay. Yes, hello.
Doc, do we have the slides? Yes.
Yes, I realize you don't have this one, so I'll put it there for you to have access to it. I'll upload it for you to have access to it.
Okay. Is it per chapter or they are all lumped together?
This one goes for the. It goes under the part the session 2. What we discussed last week under data processing, input, output, and process. But I use this to illustrate that the various systems are it's not just a matter of input, process, and output, but the inputs with reference to operations, with reference to management, and reference to strategic decisions of the organization. So I'll put it at the right link for you to access it.
But the recordings of the live session, is it such that we can download?
Yes, when I put you should be able to download.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. We'll see you later. Okay. Bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.